All right. All right. We live. All right. All right, let's go ahead, clap it up. All right. Shalom, Israel. We are the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. A preaching officer of 5,000, Kasar Pakad. This is the Thursday night scripture breakdown for ISUPK Northern California, ISUPK Sacramento. If you are in the Bay Area, if you're in Northern California, if you're on the west side of the map, you need to come to 2213 McDonald Avenue, come into this class, get these breakdowns, learn the Bible from the real priests and prophets of the Lord, and change your life. You know, all right? Before we get into class, let's see. Any announcements? What do we got? The Feast of, what's that? The end of the Feast of First Fruits is coming up. Can you see when the last day of the end of the Feast of First Fruits is?
It's going to be beginning June 17th.
Mm-hmm. That would be the closing then, right? Because the beginning was right after Passover.
Also like your concert.
Yeah,
the closing is June 17th.
Yeah, so June 17th coming up in a couple weeks. We're going to have the closing of the Feast of First Fruits. You all are invited, if you're Black, Latino, or Native American, to come to eat and dwell with the brothers in unity here at Richmond, California, 2213 McDonald Ave. All right. Now let's go ahead and get into class. First, we're going to start off with questions. Questions in the room, questions online. If you got them online, type them in the chat. Let's go. Go ahead.
I have a question.
Use the mic.
I have a question on the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35 and verse 5. I was wanting to know what exactly does it mean when it says in the time that their iniquity had an end.
Right. Okay, let's go ahead and read it.
Mm-hmm. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35, verse 5. Mm-hmm. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred.
Right. So let's go. Let's see who we're talking to. Read verse 1.
Mm-hmm. Book of Ezekiel, chapter 35, verse 1.
Right.
Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir.
Against who?
Mount Seir.
Okay.
And prophesy against it. And say unto it, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee.
Right. So first we got to know, who is Mount Seir? Who is Mount Seir?
Is it the Edomite?
Come. The Edomites. This is the place where they lived, and oftentimes people would become known by the landmass they live in, and so you would call them that, like that's their name. So what's another example for that? We became known as like Mount Zion. You know what I mean? That was our mountain. That was in Jerusalem. Mount Zion, it represented the Israelites. You say, go prophesy to Zion. You're saying, go prophesy to the children of Israel. Go prophesy to Mount Zion, Mount Seir. It's the children of Esau and Edom. That's where they were living at. And another thing about Mount Seir, if you go into the Hebrew, the word, Petra was in Edomite land. Yep. That's the modern day land of Petra too. I think it's in Jordan. That's where Mount Seir, those mountains, they lived in the mountains. They dwelled in the clefts of the rocks. They have a whole city that's paved and cut into the rocks. You look at Petra. So Matham Yah talked about that. But you look up the word Shir in Hebrew, I believe it's Sha'ayar, which means goats or devils. So it's literally Mount Devils. That's what Mount Seir means.
That's heavy, sir.
Yeah, it is. And I found that going through the concordance. That's another story. But yeah, I never heard anybody bring that out, actually. So I found that. Yeah, go ahead.
So like I said,
a few years ago.
That's why they have the depiction of like Satanism being a goat.
Right.
A lot of the time.
Exactly.
It's like the white man, like it really is a goddamn devil.
Yeah, and you think about it. Goats, there's Bible verses that talking about separating the sheep from the goats. We were always considered the sheep in the wool. they are the goats, and the sheep have woolly hair, and the goats have straight hair. You know what I mean? It's always not saying straight hair is just all court, but when it comes to the wool, the sheep have the curly hair, man. It's interesting that it breaks down in that way too. Yep. So let's keep going. So this is who they're talking to, the so-called white man, the devil who the Bible speaks of. All right.
Verse 3, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate.
Right. So the Lord is saying that he is against this nation of people. He wants them to be destroyed. His hand is going to come up against them. Why is this going to happen? Right. Keep going.
I will lay thy cities waste.
Right.
And thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord.
Right. It's going to be destroyed. It's going to be brought down. That's what's going to happen. World War III is coming to this place. The cities are going to be desolate, empty, powerful places going to be destroyed. Keep going.
Verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred.
Hold it right there. So this is the reason why these people have to be destroyed. When we go out in camp and we talk about them and the things that have to happen to these people, the reason why they have to be destroyed is because they have a perpetual hatred. What does the word perpetual mean? Go ahead.
Never ending, unending.
Right. What else?
Perpetual, forever.
Right. Let's see what the actual let me see what we got the actual definition. It's always something when you look it up for sure. Let's see what we get. Perpetual, yeah, continuing forever, everlasting, occurring continually, constant, perpetually. Yeah, that's it. It doesn't stop. They've had a never-ending hatred. Keep going.
And has shed the blood of the children of Israel.
So not only did you have a hatred, you also put action behind that hatred. You don't like blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, but that's not enough. You got to kill them. You got to destroy them. You got to rape them. You got to sell them. You understand? You got to work them to death. This hatred is manifested into death. Millions of Native Americans, millions of black people, millions of Latinos have died at the hands of these oppressors. Keep going. And has shed, start from there.
And has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity.
Right. So this is where you get into your question, like in the time of their calamity, in the time of their suffering, in the time of us working 400 years to build up your nation, we are stressed out. Like I talked to a heathen woman earlier today on my slavery, right? And this devil, I'm gonna say it like that. This devil, she was an Amalekite, a small hat, right? And she came up to me, and I'm talking about certain things, right? About Black Americans and things in our history, right? And we need help right now because we are being oppressed in America. And she was like, "Yeah, I don't want to help that because all my funding is going to Israel right now and helping them, right? And Black Americans don't support Israel right now. And we used to have a symbiotic relationship, but they're not supporting us right now. So I don't want to help that." I'm like, damn, she left. I was like, let me think about this. So she walks in the store, she came back. I'm like, hold on, let me talk to you for a second. So are you saying basically because we are not supporting your people right now, you don't want to support our people for our basic rights? Like we're talking about human rights right here. We're not talking about giving us money or anything like that. Just freedom, basic freedoms. You like, damn your freedoms because y'all ain't with me right now. Basically, you see what I'm saying? Right. Like you have the right to what? Free speech in America. That's why we can go on the streets and we can say, well, we can say the white man is the devil because we have freedom of speech. It's in the Constitution. Right. She's saying you don't deserve that because you don't support her people, basically. So I asked her about that. And then after she left, and she was like, nah, she tried to backtrack a little bit on that. Long story short, not to go too far on a tangent, these people are so evil that they want to blame us at the bottom of society. She knows that we have the least education. We have the least amount of money. We're living in the ghettos. We're in poverty. We're suffering. We're in the time of our calamity. And she's blaming us for her problems across the world. And that since we don't have her back, then damn us, F us. Right. Like, of all people in the world, we should get the pass for not supporting you. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say we should support them, then we're ignorant. We should get an understanding of being ignorant because of our history of what's happened here. You know what I mean? Like, we should get the understanding of we're worrying about ourselves now.
Right.
Like, we don't get none of that pass. In the time of our calamity, she like, y'all niggas better do whatever the hell we're doing. If not, F y'all. But we're doing what she's doing. And we're saying that's your problem. F y'all. This is the first time we've actually done that, because in the time of our calamity, they never did anything for us. She has it in her mind that they work with us. They did not work with us. They never helped us. They abused us and took advantage of us in these record industries, in these clothing industries, all these different things in politics. Her people have destroyed Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And now she wants us to support them. Damn all that, man. To hell with her and to hell with them. And the Lord says to hell with her and to hell with them. Because in the time of our calamity, this is what they have done. Right?
In the time that their iniquity had an end.
Like, yeah, so now in the time of our struggle, we're being enslaved. Commander Johanna always says it. You work us for 400 years. You enslave us. The least you could do is not kill us. The least you could do is treat us with some type of respect. No, that's not enough. Like, when we ask for basic things to treat us like humans, they look at it as like their dog asking to sleep in the bed with you. Like, if your dog came up to you and said, you had a steak, why I don't get a steak? You know what I mean? You're like, you lucky I gave you some puppy chow. Get your ass back in the backyard. What are you trying to get in the bed? I let you sleep in my backyard. You don't deserve it. That's how they look at us when we ask for human rights. They're like, nigga, you lucky we letting you live right now. So that's why they kill us when we try to ask. We say Black Lives Matter. Please stop killing us. Our life matters. We know the whole movement is wrong. They don't got the truth, right? But the essence of it is saying that my life matters. Please stop killing me. And they're like, nah, blue lives matter. All lives matter. You niggas are tripping. You a terror because you just want to have life.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so in the time of our struggle, they don't even want to give us basic decency. They want to murder us for even asking for that. They shed our blood even when we're going through things. They have no understanding. And in the time that our iniquity had an end. So now we are coming to an end. We're leaving the sin. Iniquity is sin. Like brothers coming into the truth. Brothers waking up. The time of us to lead this captivity, we served our time. They still want to drag you back. They still want to oppress you. They still want to murder you and treat you like dirt. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much that. Is that to why we got any more? You know, hey, I run the questions. Yeah.
So when it says when iniquity had the end, it's saying that we're coming out of our sin.
Right. You know what I mean? It's time for us to be done with this captivity. It's over. Like, they went too far. Give me Isaiah. It's at 27 and 6. Isaiah 26, or was it 46? Let me see. Let me see. 27. Let me see if that's the one. I'm trying to go off memory quick. 26. What's that? 27 and 6. No. All right, let me look it up real quick. It's my fault. 1 second. What is the precept I'm looking for? Where it says they let me see if this is it. If not, I'll just come back to it. Isaiah 47:6.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I said 27. It was 47:6. Like they went too far. They were supposed to be here to put us in punishment, but they went too far. Like they don't, you know what I mean? They have no breaks. They're too greedy. This is why people often ask, like, well, if y'all were punished because y'all did the curses, y'all broke the law, and Esau was here to punish you, why should he get punished for doing what the Lord wanted him to do? This is the reason why. Go ahead.
Would that also be related to when the Bible talks about how if a thief broke into your house, when the thief leaves something,
right? Exactly.
If they leave something,
exactly. The spirit of Esau is perpetual, like it's bloodthirsty. He's never satisfied. Like that's why the economy is jammed up right now. Capitalism is the spirit of Esau. This economy is based on constant growth. If you have a business, I used to work at a retail store, Aaron Brothers. This year, they said, this is how many sales we need to have. And this is what's going to make us have a good year. We reached all those sales. The next year, what do they want? Exactly. They said we have to do more. Now, what does that in the world? You know what happened to Aaron Brothers? It closed down. But the next year, they've been doing that for 50 years. They're like, yeah, we need all these sales. They reached and said, we need more. And then we need more. We need more. You need to make more and more and more because capitalism is saying you have to maximize your profits. So there's only a finite amount of trees on earth and water on earth and oranges on earth. And there's only so many oranges you can even eat in a year. So you want me to sell you 50 oranges when you only can eat 10. Right. You see what I'm saying? But there's such a race of greedy effing bastards. They don't never stop. And so they can't stop the oppression of our people because their businesses won't do what they need them to do. You see what I mean? Like McDonald's got to make more money. So you know what? We're going to hire robots to put them in the front so you do self-checkout so they can maximize their profits. But guess what? You just fired 20 people and you need them to come buy your burgers so you can make more money. So who's going to buy the burgers if you don't have anyone paying? You're not paying anyone. Right. They're so greedy. They're destroying themselves. It's destructive. And so now they keep trying to replace this stuff. I could go into that whole breakdown anymore. That's a whole nother breakdown to this economy. But so like it. Let's go ahead with that one.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 47, and verse 6.
Right.
I was wroth with my people.
Right.
I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thy hand.
Right. He gave us over to these Esau Edomites because we were not obeying the Lord. He was angry at us. He polluted. He destroyed us. Right. Keep going.
Thou didst show them no mercy.
Damn. They didn't give us any mercy. That's all we've been asking for. This is why we are so confused. We keep singing "We Shall Overcome" and marching and like, when is this gonna stop? Like, if you don't have the truth, I get why you get high. Yeah, I get why you smoke weed. Because you're like, what are we gonna do to change this? There's nothing gonna change. My grandfather was a slave 400 years ago. I gotta work 12 hours a day just to barely make rent and have nothing to show for it. And my people are still destroyed. There's nothing really changing out here. It's hopeless. And you get high because you realize that you're a slave. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke.
Right. They keep putting this burden on us. Make more money, make more profits. Shut up and take what we're giving you. Allow us to come and abuse you. Allow us to make your woman into whores. Like I saw this stuff be so sad. I think it was Tamar Braxton the other day. She in a picture on Instagram in her bikini. Tamar Braxton's like 47 years old. She in her lingerie. It wasn't even bikini, it was lingerie. And another week, a couple days before that, it was her other sister, Toni Braxton. She gotta be 60. She in a blazer with no bra on next to her son at an award show. And in half of the comments, what are the people saying? She's too old for this. The other half of the comments is saying she loves her body and you shouldn't tell a woman, you know what I mean? that she should be modest, whatever. She just loves herself. And I thought, how ignorant is to say that's like dangerous. It's very toxic. That mindset, that feminist mindset that people get, that if you show your body, that means you love your body. Hiding your body means you don't love your body, is the logic of what you're saying. I really wanted to ask one of the sisters in the comments, because this is logic right here. You always got to reverse it. If loving your body means, if showing your body means you love your body, are there people that don't love their body that show their body? Is the question I would ask. To put them in a box. You see what I mean? There are plenty of people that do that. You know what they're called? Prostitutes. You know what they're called? Strippers. You know what they're called? People that have been molested. They go out and show their body every week, and they hate their body. They hate themselves. They'll stand on a corner with no clothes on and sleep with people for money because they hate themselves, and they think they need to do this to survive, right? Right. So now that logic is saying that if you love your body, you should show your body. So what happens to this 12-year-old or 14-year-old that says, okay, I'm feeling insecure. In order to feel secure, I should show my body to the world. And what is that saying? You need validation from people outside of yourself to feel good about yourself. And so that's why they're making this post on Instagram. So 1 billion people can make you feel good about you. Cat Williams said it the best. He said, how is this woman going to come to me telling me I lowered her self-esteem? He said, bitch, the word is self-esteem. It's got self in it. How can I make you feel bad about your motherfucking self? Excuse me, I'm doing too much. You know what I mean? How can I make you feel bad about yourself? You know what I mean? Like, it comes from within. Somebody liking it saying, oh, girl, Tamar, you look good. That makes you feel good? How long can that last? Until the post gets old and no more likes come in, you got to make another one to feel that high again. And you got to make another one. And then you got to take off more clothes because you're not getting as many likes because you have a low self-esteem because they're telling you your worth is your body. And there's no 80 or 90-year-old woman getting 100,000 likes. So you're perpetually losing your looks and you are getting a lower self-esteem because your whole worth was not your spirit, wasn't what you do for others. It wasn't your intelligence. It wasn't your work ethic. It was you getting naked on IG. So it's a horrible and irresponsible way for people to do that. But these are the things that these people have taught us over and over and over again, man. Right. You know, and that's the evil. That's the burden they put on us. You know what I mean? That's the yoke that they put on. Right.
Verse 7.
Let's see. I mean, you could go into it, but nah, for time's sake, let's go back to the topic. But yeah, they didn't show us any mercy, long story short, in our suffering. And so the Lord's not going to show them any mercy. They were supposed to punish us, but they went too far. They weren't supposed to rape women.
Right.
They're supposed to work us on the plantation, but they weren't supposed to rape little boys and girls and men. They weren't supposed to do that. They weren't supposed to cut your hand off because you tried to escape slavery. You know what I mean? They went too far, and now they deserve everything that's coming to them because there's no satisfaction with them. They're never satisfied. Right. You know what I mean? And that's those people don't deserve to be in charge of anything because they will blow up the planet. That's literally what's going to happen. They're creating these robots and AI for their greed to maximize their profits, and the AI is going to go to war with them and kill them and start World War III. This is going to destroy them. You know what I mean? So, Rakatha Yahweh Yahweh Shai for their unending lust. You know what I mean? All right. Let's go into tonight's topic. We're going to start with today's class is called the Foundation, One West Foundation, meaning what are the One West precepts that are foundational to the UPK? All right. And let's see, the brother had a comment on here. He said, It's like if I may, does the phrase "there's nothing new under the sun" also include the condition of the Lord's chosen people? Can the two be associated? There's nothing new under the sun also include the condition of the Lord's chosen people. In a lot of ways, yes, it can. But the real spirit, the way we break this precept down, is the this is a reincarnation precept, right? So it's not just we are in the same conditions because we are our forefathers brought back into earth. But does that mean our condition will stay this way forever? La. The spirit of us will be back. We'll be in the kingdom, and our condition will change at that point. But we will still have the same spirit, and that won't be new. So that's how I would answer that. I would be careful with using it for our condition, more so the people and the spirit of us that lives on today. All right.
It's like, sir, the title is going to be Values One West.
One West Foundation. Like the foundation, the bricks that this school was built upon are some of these precepts that we're going to bring out tonight. Another word for that is the milk precepts. And when we say when you're coming into the truth, you got to be able to drink the milk before you can digest the meat, because there's some precepts that are a little bit harder for someone coming out of the world or that's not studied in the Bible to understand. And so these are good precepts to get you to get the basic understanding of what we teach here in the UPK and why it's so important. And Officer 5000 Karak always gave us a good way of understanding this in our Hebrew Academy. He was like, man, don't run from that milk. Some people love, especially fake Israelites, they love going so deep and getting real deep into the precepts. Nothing wrong with that. We got that in the school too. The UPK brothers got precepts upon precepts. But oftentimes we stay towards this milk because it never gets spoiled. That's what Karak said. That milk don't never get spoiled.
Right.
It is good milk. You know what I'm saying? It's a good foundation to stand on. And for new people coming in, you always want to go back to the milk because that's what they can use in their life. You know what I mean? Sometimes the dark sayings, as we say, going deeper into the Bible, these different verses, someone can't use that that's trying to stop smoking weed. Someone can't use that to fix their family relationships and their relationship with their woman. But someone can use these milk precepts to help better their life immediately. And so those are always important, should never stray away. But if you do take 2 seconds to look, I can't look at them too long. A lot of these fake Israelites with the fringes, not the purple ones, the other ones, they really they think they're wise men because they can go into all these other precepts, but they don't get the basics. They don't understand the basics because they don't live it. You know what I mean? You know all these verses, but if you're not living any of them, then what does all of them matter? That's the Christian church. Again, the Creflo Dollar knows a lot of Bible verses, and so does the Pope. I guarantee you, you think anybody knows the Bible more than the Pope? Like, the Pope probably is a biblical scholar, for real. Them deacons, I don't know what they call them that work with them. I think what they call it, I forget. But the people under the cardinals, those are his underbosses. Those people really know the Bible. But you know what else they do? They molest children. Right. So what the hell does that effing matter? Right. You see what I mean? And you can sit here and know 10 verses, but you are an excellent brother and husband and father, and that's way more important. Way more important. Way more important. That's being One West. Knowing that you living what this thing is telling you to do is being in the truth. You knowing what it's telling you is being Christian and not doing it. You knowing it and not doing it. Now, if you can do both, and then you're on Captain Tazariak, then you're on General Muhammad, then you on Commander Gianna level. Where now I do know this book inside and out, and I'm living it. You can't F with us at all. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Let's get the foundation set, right? All right, let's go ahead. 1 Corinthians. What we want, all right? You know what we want.
11:3.
Yep. We're going to talk about some women precepts, and then we're going to talk about some brotherhood precepts. We're going to go through the foundation. They say it's 2 things that'll get you out of the truth. Women, money, three things: women, money, and drugs. And women, we're gonna go over these, and brotherhood. Brotherhood, that money will make you not have brotherhood, and that money can make you want to do drugs, and women will make you want to do drugs, and you're gonna be chasing money for women. It kind of all go hand in hand. It just goes so well. Women, drugs, and money. That's a rapper's life. It sounds like rap music to me. You know what I mean? They didn't pump that into us for the past 30 years. They say it, money holds cars or clothes. Something is the same, you know what I mean? That's what will pull you from the truth. And that's what you have to have these verses to fight against so that you can stay rooted in it. All right?
Mm-hmm. This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11, and verse 3.
Right.
But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
Right.
And the head of the woman is the man.
Right.
And the head of Christ is God.
Right. What is this explaining right here?
Slugging, sir.
Go ahead. I'll let you write what you need a second to write what you need to write. Yeah, go ahead.
It's talking about the structure of the household.
Right. In the nation of our people. Another thing I was saying last week. If that song that sister made, I cook, I clean, I shut up. And a lot of people were mad about that. Some people in the fake Israelite groups were mad about her, whatever. Women in the world, they call her a pick-me, and she's being weak because she wants to please her husband. And I said, if you worked at McDonald's, if a black woman worked at McDonald's, she said, I cook, I clean, and I shut up when my boss, I don't fight, I don't argue with my boss. Obviously, we don't say she got to F her boss, right? But if she's saying she cooks, she cleans, and she shut up when her bosses tells her what to do, they would say she's a good person. Right. She's a hustler. She's doing what she's supposed to do. But if you say that about your husband, then you're stupid. Let that marinate one more time. If you go work at Taco Bell or Starbucks or Google, you got a good job. Once you got a good job, you got a good job. You go to work and you do what they tell you to do, and you shut up about it, and you clean or whatever. Like you do what your boss tells you to do. They say you're intelligent, right? And you're smart, right? And you're independent, and you get credit for that. And what will your boss do to you if you don't do that? Go ahead. Exactly. So what kind of relationships? That's called a transactional relationship. If you do what I tell you to do, then we're friends. If you don't, F you. You can come back and say, well, boss, my kids are hungry. Right. What? I told you we needed this report at this time. You didn't do it. You're fired. I told you need to show up here at this time. You're fired. Matter of fact, you're doing everything perfect. I just need to make more money this year. You're fired. They let people go all of the time. You are considered smart for being loyal to him and obeying him. And you're considered dumb for doing that to the person you're sleeping with. To be in a hierarchy or underneath and have a boss that's your husband, this society makes women feel like they're stupid for doing that. Right. But the reality is, why? Now, this blow my mind. I'm going to ask the sister in a second. I'm going to ask the brother first, though. Why would they teach that to women? Go ahead. It's very simple.
Do they teach it to them so that they would undermine the man?
It's part of it. Yeah, the sister shot.
Yes, so that they wouldn't have to depend
She don't want to be on the mic. It's all right. So what?
So they wouldn't have to depend under any man.
That's a good point. And what's the last thing? Now, both of those are right answers. But what's just think greedy? That's it right there. Like, why would they teach that to women to not listen to their husband and listen to them? Go ahead.
So that they'll listen to them instead?
Yeah, but what do they get out of it? That's all. Yeah. Yeah, they make money. What makes more money? For you to have a solid family and you to build up your family business and you have an empire for your own nation of people, or come to work for their nation of people and they can abuse you and take whatever and exploit you.
Right.
You see what I mean? Why would they want us to compete with them and have black businesses and have Black Wall Street and have strong black men and relate and raise leaders over here versus we can weaken their family structure? Now they don't compete with us, so they're begging us for jobs, and then they do whatever the hell we tell them to do. And they think they're winning by doing it. It works perfect for them. So this is why this Bible verse is here. Because if we didn't have the truth, then we would think everything that they're saying is right. But this book was left here to show you that, nah, this is the order. Nothing works without that.
Right.
That's how they took over the world. They have bosses and workers. They have a hierarchy. They have someone in charge and someone not in charge. War is the most dangerous thing you can do. Go to war and try to kill people. Now imagine going to war with people and they're like, yeah, we do whatever we want to do. Like, think how strict the army is on their rules and who's in charge. Because in order for it to work in a life and death situation, you have to know this person's in charge, this person listens to them, this person's over him, and this person's over him. So Laura's saying, yeah, that's true. You want to make a good McDonald's, you need to have a CEO, and you need to have a manager and a supervisor, a regional director, and you need to have employees. Employees do what the boss tells them to do. If they're not doing what the boss tells them to do, McDonald's is going to fail. Right. You see what I mean? It's very simple. Now, the Lord is saying your family is a business. Your family, in order for us to be in charge, we got to follow this structure right here. Read again from the top.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
We still have a leader coming into the truth. Men, we listen to other men that tell us what to do all the time. Everybody in the school has somebody over them that we obey and listen to. We know in order for this thing to work, we have to have a hierarchy. We can't all do what we want to do. There has to be men above you. It doesn't make me stupid. It doesn't make me weak.
Right.
It actually makes me stronger, because now I have a whole group of people that are on one accord. And we don't have to worry about what's going to happen when it's time to make a decision. And we can move and grow like that. But if we were just doing whatever we want, then our place would be destroyed, right? Keep going.
And the head of the woman is the man.
Right. And so we follow Christ. Christ put the men in charge of the school. The men follow those men. The head of the woman is the man. The man lead the women. Keep going.
And the head of Christ is God.
Right. And even Christ has to obey orders. He has to do what the Lord says. If he's not following what the law, statutes, commandments, he's disobeying the Lord. He's not going to be in charge of nothing. He got to take orders too. The angels got to take orders. Everybody has to take orders. Everyone has a boss. Right. There's nothing that works in the world or in the universe that doesn't have a boss. Who doesn't have a boss? Black, Hispanic, and Native American women. And they still have a boss. But in their mind, they're like, the person I sleep with cannot do that. Anyone else can be my boss. Some random white man that work at Chipotle can tell me whatever I need to do. The person that taxes, the police officer that pulled me over can tell me what to do. Pull over. They pull over. Get out of the car. They get out of the car. You know what I mean? Freeze. They freeze. They'll listen to him. But their husband is the only one on earth that's exempt from you ain't my daddy. Listen to your father, allegedly. They don't do that either, but you know what I mean? Like, there's only one person that can't be over you is the one that's literally ruling your family. Right. It's ignorance and it's evil and it's not of the Lord. And this is why we're destroyed, because the white man has convinced our women that they should not be underneath a man. Go ahead, Doc.
All right, so I was going to say something interesting about that is, like as you said, it's like most women nowadays, especially they're Black and Latino, they'll say, "You're not my daddy." They don't want a man over them.
Right.
And when they do take the time and put in some effort to have a relationship, they'll still ask for equality, a 50-50 relationship in that.
Right.
Which still at the same time is like both of us can't be in charge.
Right. Where do they do that at? Even in businesses, like, where do they really do that at? Even like if you have stocks, they gotta give you a 51%. Like, you have to have that 1% over everyone like can't have 50-50 in stocks. Somebody has to have the majority in the stocks to be in charge of the corporation. Like someone, even they have a board, like, okay, we're gonna take a vote on this, but we're still gonna put someone over the board. Like there's always a hierarchy over everything. Someone has to be in charge for business to work effectively. There is, and you know the cool part about it is when they tell you that lie, the dynamics of the relationship are never 50-50. You cannot do that. If someone's going to naturally gravitate. So when they want the 50-50, they say, I'm going to be in charge. Really, that woman is in charge of that relationship. She's saying it's 50-50, but naturally, you will see the dynamics that, oh, yeah, she's running this. You know what I mean? And it's just the way it is. Somebody's naturally going to become the leader of that situation. So it's, you know. But with all that being said, in the balance and evil, a balance of this, that they make it sound like this is all evil. Give me verse. I was gonna say, give me verse 11. Right down to verse 11.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
Nevertheless,
Mm-hmm.
neither is the man without the woman.
Right. That doesn't mean because someone's in charge, does that mean they don't need the other person? Because Commander Junior Hanna runs the ISUBK. Does that mean he doesn't need a trooper? Nevertheless, the man needs the woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not saying that you're not valuable. Doesn't say you're not important. Doesn't say we don't love you. Like, that's even more love. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fact that I'm in charge, there's a lot of pressure that comes with being in charge of something.
Right.
There comes a lot of pressure being in charge. If things go good, then you get the credit. If things go bad, then you get the credit.
Right.
That's being responsible. So being able to relax, that's a little bit of relax. Like, okay, I'm not in charge. All I gotta do is do what I'm told. In essence, trust in the Lord, things gonna be all right. Now, if things go wrong, then He's gonna have to answer for that. If things go good, then I'll give Him the credit for that. You know what I mean? That's the same thing that we do. We give credit to Commander Junior Hanna because he's an excellent leader, and we obey what he tells us to do because he has been successful in leading us.
Right.
Now, if things all go wrong and we find out that this is a drug dealing organization, we all go to prison for the next 20 years, then you goddamn right we blaming Commander Junior Hanna. You know what I mean? Like, this is what this was the whole time? And Commander Junior Hanna got us 50 years. Yeah, he did. You know what I'm saying? Because that was on him. And that's the reason, like, yeah, that's how you know he loves us.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because he's taking on the good and the bad. Whatever we do, we represent him. That's why we say don't shame his house and don't shame him. You know what I mean? It's the same thing for a good wife. Like, your husband will jump in front of a bullet for you with no questions asked. Don't shame him. You know what I'm saying? If he's being a good man, then you should honor him in the best way. You know what I mean? And so as it goes both ways, man, we love each other and we love the people we work with. And if anything, a good leader is a good servant.
Right.
So we really work for our women. You know what I'm saying? Like, in a lot of ways, if you are protecting your wife and you're willing to teach and you're going to give more to them than they're going to give to you because you're a leader.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's with anything. And that's how it's always been. So Commander Junior Hanna has done more for me than I've done for him. I could leave the school and it doesn't matter. This is going to continue. But if he left the truth, then it's a different story. If he didn't do what he's done, none of this would be here.
Right.
So he's worked for me way more than I've worked for him. And that's how it should be. All right. Let's drop that. Let's go to the next precept. Where we going?
1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 34.
Right. Mm-hmm.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 14 and verse 34.
Right.
Let your woman keep silence in the churches.
Ooh-wee. Good.
For it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law.
Right. And so this one right here is very simple. It's not saying women can't speak in the school. Churches is the same word for school because we know sisters speak in the school. And that's how I generalize. You want to know what we teach, and just look how we do things, and then you'll understand the Bible. What it's talking about here is saying that she should not come into a class trying to battle the teacher. She should come to learn in silence and get the knowledge. But if you're coming in the spirit trying to teach the class, then you're not learning. You can't do both. You can't teach and learn. You're either here to learn, you're gonna learn in silence, you're gonna respect and honor what's going on. But you going back and forth with it, then no, that's not what's supposed to be going on. It's not the place for that. Yeah, go ahead.
So I learned, well, shoot, I didn't learn this, but I heard from a Christian, and they're saying with this verse specifically, they're saying Paul's writing to the Corinthians. They're saying the Greek city that they were in was a matriarchy.
Okay.
And so they said that he was specifically talking because women would try to go out of their way to teach men,
Right.
to be the head of men. He said that he was specifically talking to them because of that.
Right.
And I was just wondering, is there any credence to that?
I have not heard that before, but the part of the city and that going on, that being the vibe and the spirit of it, that could have some value in it. I got to look into that more. I've never heard that specifically, but in general, that being applied to that city applies to every city too, because it's just setting the rules down for everywhere. You know what I mean? Like certain areas might have that vibe and that spirit. Like, you know, some girl may be from Dublin or Livermore versus a girl from Oakland. It's two different vibes, two different spirits. A girl from Berkeley and somebody from East Oakland is just different. So it's like, yeah, over there, you really gotta stomp this fire out. Because that's what they doing in Oakland. You know what I mean? Is that's that town. They nigga, you better tell me about that Bible. You know what I mean? They doing all that. Somebody else in another city might be a little bit more humble. But if they start picking up that stuff in Livermore and doing it over there, they need to make sure that, yeah, this is just the rules now. Just make sure we want to stomp that fire out. But yeah, I can look into that more too. Yeah, I've never heard that. Could be right. Could be wrong.
Come.
Yep.
The next scripture.
No, go to verse 35.
Verse 35. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is a shame for a woman to speak in the church.
Right. So once again, you take that for face value, then it's like you can't say nothing in class, you can't ask no questions. But sisters ask questions in class all the time. Sisters are teaching. It's like if you're coming and you're not taking the teaching and you're going back and forth, then this is what you need to go home to your husband and have these conversations of back and forth, if that's what you want to do.
Right.
This is not the setting for that. We all came here to learn. We didn't come here to battle the students. You know what I'm saying? This is a school. You don't do that in any other setting, or you get what? If you go to an algebra class and the teacher's like, X plus 4B is this, and you in the back like, all right, Miss Jones, you got to get out of security. They're gonna call you. You got to go. You know what I'm saying? Go somewhere else with that. But this is not a place for that. We're here to learn. This person's here to teach, and that's what that. If you want to do that, then go with your husband at home and have these conversations, because you're just not listening. You're disrupting the class. This other person can't learn right now because of what you're doing. That's what this is about.
Okay.
Yep. Let's see. I think that's it. All right, let's go to the next one.
Next one will be 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11 and 12.
Right. And we will, how they always say, he said 1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 11. And yeah, this is I'm glad we're gonna break this one up too, because let's go. We're gonna talk about these sisters. We're gonna talk about these brothers. That's what Captain Zara say all the time. Like, when it comes to black, women, a lot of times these verses be like, man, F all you niggas. You niggas is evil. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, we can sit here and talk about brothers for 100 days. You take 5 minutes to talk about sisters. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, nah. Everybody has a chance to get corrected. It wouldn't be the truth if it wasn't your turn.
Right.
That would be the Christian church. You know what I'm saying? Like, This is where it's your turn to get corrected off of the things that you're doing, and you learn and grow and change it. But it's not to tear you down, it's to build you up. You know what I mean? We got things we got to work on as brothers. Sisters got things they got to work on as sisters. If we all had it perfect, then we wouldn't need to be here. You understand? Well, yeah. Go ahead.
Concert. This is the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 2, and verse 11.
Right.
Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
But I suffer not a woman to teach,
Right.
nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence.
Right. And so this is the key part. Like, a woman should learn in silence and all subjection. Being in subjection is submission. And suffering a woman not to teach is just not her job to teach men. If the men are the leaders, then how can a woman teach them to be leaders?
Right.
You know, it's just pretty much that simple. If the problem with the black community is the black man, everybody says it. What's wrong with black men, black Latino men? They're not being fathers. They're not raising their children. They're selling drugs. They're gangbanging. They're going to prison. What's wrong with them? What's wrong with our community is them. If we're to blame and we're the problem with our communities, then guess what? We're the solution. That's how you fix the problem. You fix the men, you fix the black community, you fix the black household. We've been ruled by single parent mothers for years, and we're still destroyed. If we put black men back in the households, we will fix the households. So you're telling me you're going to raise a strong man by him obeying a woman? That's how you build a soldier? You know what I mean? That's how you build somebody that's an alpha male that's got to go compete with the other races of men. I got to go against this Chinese man and against this Arab man and against this African man, and my leader is the woman. Nah, that's not how it works.
Right.
So if you want to have a strong community, you want to have strong men, you got to let them be strong. You got to listen to them. Now, that's pretty much it right there. And when it says nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence, that's one of my favorite words. I don't know why I like that word, but it's eloquent. I don't know. You know what it means?
That's fine, sir. It means to take by force.
Yeah. Also, it means to take a position of power or importance illegally or by force, to supplant, to overthrow, remove, unseat, dispose. Like, this is not your position, and you usurp their authority, like the movie Black Panther. When the dude came and he was like, nah, this is my seat, and you ain't supposed to be in the king of this Wakanda. I'm supposed to be the king. My father was the real king. Like, you're usurping my authority. You're taking it illegally. You shouldn't be here. Now, imagine a woman doing that to a man.
Right.
You see what I mean? That's like a woman pastor. There's some brother in that church that's supposed to be leading the church, and she's up there teaching everybody. He can never be who he's supposed to be because he's listening to Juanita Bynum.
Right.
You see what I mean? Like, he's supposed to be in charge, and he over here like, yeah, mama. You know what I mean? And yeah, you're right. And she's saying all this emotional nonsense and turning him into a woman. Right. His mindset is thinking like a woman, and she's not training him to be a man. That's why mothers say it all the time. I can't raise a son to be a man. You already know naturally. That's not your job. You don't know what it's like. Like, what was the last point I could say like this? Women have that too, right? Men don't know what it's like to be a woman. I don't know what it's like to give birth to a baby. I don't know what it's like to, you know what I'm saying, have a monthly, whatever. Yeah, you're right. Men don't know what it's like. But inside of that, how can I say it? Let's just do it to rate basic sports and lifting weights and stuff like that. Men are stronger than women with lifting weights. So if your maximum bench press is 100 pounds and your maximum bench press is 400 pounds, you know what it's like to lift 100 pounds, but you don't know what it's like to lift 400 pounds. That's being a man and woman, basically.
Right.
I can understand what you're going through more than you can understand what I'm going through. I may not know exactly what it is, but I can understand that more than you can understand this. That's pretty much it. That's why I can lead this. Because it's one thing to understand birthing children, raising children. I can get that. I can raise children. But for you to join the army and fight and give up your life, that's a different level of living. You know what I mean? And I'm saying there's not women that won't do that or blah, blah, blah. But literally for all of them to need that to be their burden, it's not natural. Like if there's a group of people outside coming here to kill us, it's not natural to say, we're all the women that's going to go protect us and we're going to sit in the back room. It's not their nature. It just doesn't feel right. And they know it and we know it and everyone knows it. If somebody's banging on the door and we say, sisters, excuse me, how would that make the women feel? You know what I'm saying? Like, these niggas some bitch ass niggas.
Right.
Who the hell are we here with? They just ask all the women to go to the threat. It's not normal. So how can you feel what that feels like to do that? To not think twice, say, you know what, if this job is done, I got to go in here and die. Might happen today. That's a different way of looking at it. So that's the 400 pounds weight that we have. We still have to raise the children. We still got to get the food. We still got everything you got to do. We had to lift that 100 pounds too, and we got to do this. It's a little bit more. Not too much more. It's just a little bit more. That's why the Lord put us in charge. It's that simple. Who's going to be protection? It's the men. So they should be in charge. Let's go ahead to the next one.
Book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 22.
Right. The sexual harassment in the military against women is high. It's not safe. Yeah, most high in Christ for that sister saying that. That's Officer Uraga Bar's rib, Azara. She said the sexual harassment in the military against women is high. It is not safe. That is very true, sis. And that's so wrong on so many levels for them to put sisters into that situation. It is not even funny how evil the oppressor is to do that to women out here. They just trying to make ends meet and support their family and get some money. They send them out there in the war zones, and then they send them out there with the worst people on earth. A bunch of killing psycho Edomite devils that are rapists. They like, we know how they get down. Them Edomites that go to the military are a bunch of homosexuals. If the woman wasn't there, they'd be molesting the men. They do all types of gay stuff in the military. And now you bringing women around here, they just like, oh, we got everything, whoever we can do. You know what I mean? They just take advantage of that.
Right.
And so part of that is them just being Edomites. Like that wouldn't happen in the Lord. If we let women in the army of Israel, that wouldn't happen here. So it's not the nature of real leadership to do that. But that environment should never even been an option for them to even be around that, man. So that's another thing of how they mislead our people by usurping the authority of men by putting women into the military. Yep. Go ahead.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 22.
Right.
Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord.
Damn. Why did they bring that one today? I feel like a Christian pastor, they'd be like, oh, he starts sweating. You know how they be having a little cloth. If somebody, go ahead. Exactly. You know what I mean? If somebody asked that question in the middle of the sermon, you just start sweating. Woo! Why did you bring this one out? Like today, brother. Somebody say, you say, brother, that many times, nothing good can happen. Brother, we gonna need you to bring that out on Bible study on Wednesday, my brother. You trying to make me lose my job in here. This is just the Bible. You teach the Bible every week, but they skip over these things because it doesn't benefit them.
Right.
If you want to abuse women, you don't tell them the truth. If you lie to women, you can take advantage of women. And so you say, yeah, girls, they run the world. Girls, be independent. Do what you don't need a man. That sounds good and it feels good. Like that's why America is the most unhealthy nation on earth, because they tell you, yeah, Oreos, Oreos, Oreos. Get more, indulge, indulge, indulge. You go by the advertisements, cookies, cookies, cake, cake, get more, get more, get more. That benefits me because I'm selling it to you, but it's killing you. But if I tell you vegetables, 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 eat healthy, eat healthy, eat healthy, I don't make money doing that.
Right.
And so they don't tell you to do it. That's what's going on here. It's like the truth doesn't always feel good, but in the end, it's better for you. That broccoli is better. It may not taste as good as a cupcake, but it's better for you. This might be a hard pill to swallow, and it's not easy, but what good thing in life really is? You see what I'm saying? Like, what else in life that is of value and substance that comes easy you don't got to work on? That's not hard to do. That's not difficult. You see what I'm saying? Nothing that is value on earth is like that. The Lord made it that way for a reason. Imagine if we lived in a world where eating cupcakes gave you a six-pack. It'd be so easy. It'd be so easy. Everybody would do it. But it's not like that. It's difficult to be healthy. It's difficult to save money. It's difficult to buy a house. It's difficult. You see what I mean? Or to raise a child to really be there. It's easy to be a deadbeat. Have sex with 100 women and leave and never do nothing. That's easy. The hard part is staying and waking up in the middle of the night, changing their diaper. The hard part is making sure they get to the doctor. The hard part is making sure they go to a good school. The hard part is saving money and giving them this so they can have that. That's hard. Life is hard. It wasn't meant to be easy, but all those good things you get out of that hard work are way better than that feeling from eating that cupcake.
Right.
And this verse right here, it might be a hard part for a woman. It's hard for brothers coming out the world. Niggas been in gangs and shot people, and now you got to come in here and some other man telling you, go wash the toilet. Take the trash out. Make sure everything's clean. Dude, nigga, you know who I am? I used to kill niggas. Now you telling me to shema and listen to you? Nah. It's hard to do that. But the benefits of that are way better than you just being in charge of yourself and doing whatever you want to do. That's how things get done.
Right.
You know what I mean? Go ahead, read one more time.
Look at Ephesians chapter 5, verse 22. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord.
Right. Like, that's what we believe here in the truth. When Commander Johanna gives an order, the Lord gave me an order. The Lord never worked how they do in the movie where some bright light thing come out the sky and he's like, my son, Kassar, walketh up the road. He always had prophets to tell you what to do. He worked with this man, and this man led you and showed you the way. This is what you need to do. The Lord always uses people to lead us. So how else can the Lord rule your household unless the man over you is the one that he's talking to?
Right.
So that's why the men become the teachers and the experts in the Bible, and we study the Bible so that we know how the Lord wants us to lead our women. And so we know when our behavior is matching up with this book, we know we're right. And what we're telling you is right. That you shouldn't wear that. You shouldn't go over there with those people. You should stop smoking weed. You shouldn't celebrate that. You shouldn't do that. Like, I know I'm right because the Lord told me I'm right.
Right.
And I'm telling you what's right. Obey your husband as the Lord told you to say it, because who else is going to tell you? You know what I'm saying? And that's how it is. And so when Captain Quam told me something, the Lord told me that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? When General Hyman said it, God said it to me. All right, go ahead.
So I can search, should I drop to 25? Or?
What we got in there? Yeah. Well, let's go to 20. The husband is the head of the wife. Yeah, you can go to 24 the church. Yeah, 25 is a good one. Just soften it up a little bit.
Chapter 5, verse 25.
That's what I'm. Yeah.
Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it.
Right, in so many different ways, man. This is important. Like, the husbands gotta love the wives the same way Christ loved us. He corrected us. He taught us what was right, but he also gave up his life for us. And he was willing to do anything to protect us because we were who he cared about. And that's the same way. So as a good husband, you're not to be this evil. I'm like, we should save some money this month and invest in this. Nah, I'm the man. You need to listen to. Nah, she made a good point. It makes sense. You can listen to your wife and, do something that she says. This needs to be done. Like Captain Yadazak said it all the time. He was like, sometimes we don't like how something is said, but what was said was right too. He was like, and he cut me in class too, though. He was like, yeah. Your wife like, man, you got your shoes all in the floor, man. They stink. You know what I mean? He was like, yeah, you may not like how she said it, but your shoes stink. You know what I'm saying? They are in the middle of the floor. Like, you should move them out the way. You know what I mean? Like, now, can she be better at communicating that? Yeah, most likely cry. We'll work on that too. But what was said was right. You know what I mean? Sometimes brothers can take that so far that they won't hear what's being said that is valid, right? Just because you're taking that pride to the head. And so I was like, damn, my wife do say that. Like, damn, my shoes, and the brothers for sure let me know in Passover. My feet do stink. Might go see somebody about that slack.
Right.
So he said, right, I know. He said it was unbrotherly. He said it was unbrotherly when I'm like, damn, so I've been killing my wife. She was living with this. You know what I mean? Salakia to me. Salakia from me. Salakia. Go ahead.
So I was gonna ask, would it be similar, that concept of being able to your wife, would it be similar to when the Lord told Abraham to hearken unto Sarah?
Right. And when who was that? With Isaac and is that Rebecca? Jacob. No, is that Jacob and Leah?
No,
who did the swapping of the
the
birthright with Jacob, Esau Esau and Jacob. It was Isaac, and Rebecca. Rebecca told him to swap out the birthrights. The Lord had told her this was right to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She said, let the sin be upon me. But yeah, there's certain times
where you can't listen to your.
Yeah, there's a lot of times you can, if it's right, it's right. And if you are really a real leader, you're gonna be out of your emotions and hear what's being presented. You still have to make that final decision, right? But some can go far left with it and think that this is I don't even know what the word could call it, but it's something else. It's not being a real leader.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just something else. It's being, who's some horrible examples? Ike Turner. Well, go ahead.
It's like being the tyrant.
Yeah, it's being an abuser. You know what I mean? It's not really leadership. It's abuse. And you're masking it as strength and masculinity because I'm the man. I ain't never wash a dish and I ain't never going to help with laundry because I'm the man. Like, is that really what makes you a man? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is Edomite culture again. Like, you can never wash the dishes because you're a man. That makes you not a man because you wash the dish. But if there was no woman here, you're gonna wash the dishes, or now you a woman,
right?
Well, I'm never gonna cook. Well, what about when the brothers is barbecuing? Is the brother outside barbecuing? Do we look at him lesser? It could be Captain Gadar out there cooking. Does that make him not a man today? You see what I'm saying? So it's like certain things people will misconfuse that. It's like, nah, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved us. Like, he was a servant. He worked for us. He gave everything he had. All he asked for is just to obey him in these things right here. Right. And the only reason why he's asking us to obey him is what? That'll find the key. That'll give you the whole thing. Why is Christ want us to obey him? This will let you know. This will be your guiding light right here. Go ahead.
He wants us to have life.
Exactly, which means he wants what for you?
So like he wants what's best for us.
Exactly. That's it. Get a brother hand. Like, if you want your wife to obey you, it's not because I'm man and this and that. It's because you want what's best for her. The whole goal is to benefit her. I say don't go to that club because I don't want you to get shot at the end of the night. It's women with, I saw one, it was a couple years on World Star. A woman had like a 6-month-old baby. She at the club. She got shot. You know what I'm saying? Killed. And somebody could have been telling her like, hey, don't go there that night. and she could have been alive. But she like, some nigga trying to tell me what to do. I ain't gotta listen to no man, and ain't nobody gonna tell you ain't my father. Well, now you did.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I told you that because it's to help you out. It ain't just because it's helping me out. It's deeper than that. You see what I mean? So that's what this is about. It's not about being a tyrant, like you said, or in that essence. All right. Anything else we got?
We have,
Let's see. Did you finish that one?
want me to go to the book of Ecclesiastes?
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, let's go to it.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 26.
Mm-hmm.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 26.
Mm-hmm.
And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth God shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her.
This to me reminds me of something I learned. Like, and a lot of times when men are dealing with other men, a man can see a man for who he is because we know niggas. Like, if some dude came to date your daughter, you know somebody like him, and you see how he gets down. You only know him for 2 minutes. You're like, okay, I know who this nigga is.
Right.
You can pick it up like that. And it's like the same thing is for women. Like, a lot of women, you'll bring a woman around, and your mom or your sister or your cousin will be like, nah, something ain't up with her. I can just see it. You know what I mean? They know women how they are, and they see the real women more than what the face value of what they show you. And so it's like women will know like how bad a bad woman can be. Like, they can see it from the outside. Like, this person is destroying. Like, you would never wish this type of woman on your son. You would never wish this type of woman on your brother. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to think of what's some women that we all know. Jada Pinkett gotta be the closest one. Like, would you want Jada Pinkett to marry your son?
Sir.
That's what I'm saying. Women see that. That's what this Bible verse is about. Read it again from the top. Like, that type of woman. Everybody can see this. This is who it's talking about. Yeah.
Chapter 7, verse 26.
Mm-hmm.
And I find more bitter than death.
More bitter than what?
Than death.
More bitter than what?
Than death.
This is worse than that. Like, kill me. Like, the thing that Will Smith is going through, he should have been killed himself a long time ago, basically, or just been dead. Like, I ain't promoting suicide, like, but I'm just saying, like, it's better to get shot in the hood. Like, oh, they like, damn, T-Bone, he got killed last week. Damn. Like, nah, he's actually in a better situation than Will Smith right now. The things that he's going, and imagine being broke on top of that, like just living in a regular household, and you got a Jada Pinkett Smith in there. That is crazy. That is hell. That is real life hell. Like, the Lord, like, yeah, this is worse than dying, nigga, living like this with a woman like that.
Right.
That's not cool. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be that. How they used to say, I don't know if y'all remember, might be a little bit too over. There was a couple of memes they used to have a couple years ago. They were like, this is Jane. Jane tried to rob her own job, and now she's doing 25. Don't be Jane. You know what I'm saying? Like, stay away from this description of women. You know what I mean? If you're a sister. And if you're a brother, don't be careful when you're choosing a woman. Because if you lay with that woman and make her your wife, you're going to want to not be here if she's this type of woman. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's just not good. So go ahead. One more time for the top.
Verse 26. And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands.
Right. So her heart is her mind. She's thinking of ways to trap you and to take advantage of you, like those women that plot on basketball players, and they come so nice and so sweet, and during the whole time, she really is planning on destroying. She's going to war with you.
Right.
In your mind, you're thinking you just found this great, like they always show in the movie. You just like, she's so pretty, mom. And she in the background, when she closed that door, she's like, this nigga goofy. And this nigga we about to come up, girl, and I can't wait. Then you put the hole in the car, you saw me, yeah, do that. Yeah, nigga. And then she got a whole nother man, and she like with this nigga in the car, and he like, like she is trapped. She is like super, like men rarely are that heartless. Like a heartless woman can go way further than that, like a heartless man. You know what I'm saying? It's just a different level of it's just something else, man. It's really weird when you think about it, but that's what this is talking about. Keep going.
Oh, God. Whoso pleaseth God shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her.
Right, like it's a lot of things. You can go this in a lot of ways. A woman can be so evil. You was in the world, you met her in the world, and you come into the truth. The Lord, you're gonna escape her. Something's gonna happen. Is it gonna be revealed that she's a whore? You're gonna be able to leave. She might end up dying. Right. The Lord will remove her. You know what I'm saying? You just serve the Lord and do what you're supposed to do. That has happened. I've seen it happen more than once in the school. It's nothing to brag about. It's not cool. It's a very sad situation. But there have been evil women that think they can cheat on their husbands, think that they can do drugs, think that they can do all manner of evil and wickedness and take advantage, steal money and do this and do that, and think that they cannot get away. And think they can't get away with it. It's not what's going to happen. But if you are an evil man, she is going to destroy you. That's what it's saying. What the last sentence again? It says, whoso pleaseth?
Whoso pleaseth God shall escape from her.
Right.
But the sinner shall be taken by her.
Why is this saying that? Why will the sinner be taken by her?
So I guess, sir.
Go ahead.
Would it be because he doesn't have the wisdom to see who she actually is?
It's part of it. But why would the Lord want that to happen?
Oh, so like because the reward for a wicked man is a wicked woman?
That's a priest. That's the priest I was thinking about. We'll grab it up for that one. But why though? Why? What? Because you ain't got to keep breaking. We discourse with us. So like the water for being humble.
Is it because they're the same? Like they're perfect for each other?
Part of it. It's part of it. One more, I'll give you one more shot. Like the Lord said, the sinner is going to be taken by her. He's going to be destroyed by her because.
I'm not sure.
Okay, because you're an enemy of the Lord's. So you should be destroyed.
Right.
And what better way to destroy you than that woman?
Right.
She working for me now. She working for Satan because Satan sent here to destroy you because you're an enemy of me.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's the same way like the police. It's like, yeah, they like, man, the police keep beating this. Do you know who this nigga is? They keep taking niggas to jail. Free my nigga. Your nigga killed 5 people. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should go to jail. You should get beaten by the police. Like, you should be in there waiting for commissary. Like, bro, you know what you've been doing out here? You need to be stopped. If we let you out of jail, you're going to kill 5 more people. Right. Like, why don't you think you deserve to be punished? Like, you are an evil brother. You go to the club, you meet women, you sleep with them, and you leave them. And then I need a good woman. What? You over here, you doing this and doing that and doing the third, and then you talking about this woman ain't in order. Nigga, you ain't in order. What are you talking about? You don't obey the men above you. You don't obey the Lord. You still sinning. You getting high. She's working for us now. And we on the same team. We want her to destroy you because, nigga, you're an enemy to the Lord and his people. Right. You know what I mean? So, of course, she's going to win. She has to win. She should win because you deserve it. You understand? But if you a righteous brother, you may be some time. I'm not going to be Christian. They say the Lord don't come when you want him, but he comes right on time. Like, yeah, it may be some time, but he is going to deal with that woman. Right. If you are a righteous brother and she is evil, it is going to happen. It's just a time limit. That's the next precept.
With the Proverbs.
I guess I can. Yep.
Chapter 31,
verse
10.
Yep. Classic. The women love this one. Fake Israelite women really love this one. I'm a Proverbs 10 woman. Proverbs 30 and
31.
31 and 10 woman. Mm-hmm.
This is the book of Proverbs,
Mm-hmm.
chapter 31,
Right.
and verse 10.
Right.
Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above ruby.
All right. And so it looks like we're gonna max out on this class tonight right here. I don't want to go too far, it's getting late. So we will go to the next topic next week for brotherhood. But this one right here, Akim, Akwatian, brothers and sisters. Have you ever heard how they say you romanticize history? What does that mean?
Salaki, sir. It means that you're making history sound far better than what it actually was.
That's a perfect answer. Like, we even have friends like that. Like, people tell stories like it was fun. We was having fun, but they left out all of the bad parts of the story. And they just remember we was in high school and we used to roll around and it was like the perfect best time, but it was really a lot of drama going on at that time. It wasn't perfect. Go ahead, Doc.
Because I was literally having a conversation earlier
Yeah.
this week with an old friend.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about one of those times. I didn't mention it to him, but he was
Right.
talking about time. He was just like, I was like, I almost died. It's crazy. He remembers it as like, oh,
It was the best time.
We got to do that again. I'm over here thinking to myself, it's just like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You're crazy for still living that lifestyle.
Damn.
But he really was romanticizing that time. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, they make it all good and actually even better than it actually even was in their mind. For some reason, people they love doing that. I'm gonna look into more. I don't gotta look into the psychology. I'm gonna ask you Muhammad for that breakdown. Why people do this, but I know people do this all the time. The Black Panthers is the perfect example for me in the Bay Area. Like, you look at the pictures of the Black Panthers, you Google it, they're all standing strong. It's all of them doing this right. They are romanticizing the Black Panther history to like it was just nothing wrong in the world. That's what they do with slavery too. White people do this for a reason. Watch a slave movie. Everybody, they want to make white people feel guilty in the slave movie, and they want us to feel bad and sad. That's the vibe of a slave movie. Because every Black person on that plantation is perfect. It'd be like, sorry, boss, I just didn't mean to do nothing. I just want to raise my kids. And the women be, I don't know what did that to him. And Jim, like, this is the most perfect niggas I've ever seen. Like, this is not the real world. Like, the real slavery was the real world. It was real nigga, like, nigga, F that nigga. And we're going to do this. And nigga, she got a big butt. And them niggas was doing the same stuff we do right now. They was on the plantation like regular. They was fighting each other. They was cutting each other. They was backstabbing each other. They were lying to each other. They were cheating on, they were doing all of that on the plantation. But you watch that movie, they went, all the Black people was good, all the white people was evil. End of the story. They romanticize slavery even in a negative story because they're trying to paint this narrative that this is the bad guy and these are the good people. We can't paint the slaves as bad people. Maybe we can make one that's going to be the snitch. Right. But you can't have the dynamics on the plantation that they were really mean Black women on the plantation that used to help the white men rape the children. That they used to come get up, everybody wake up. Y'all wake up and go to work. Y'all a bunch of lazy niggas. And they used to do that. Black women used to come out, angry Black women. Just like when you go to whatever store and the woman is talking crazy to you, you're like, man, what's wrong with this bro? Y'all need to hurry up moving. Like, that was going on in slavery. It's the real world. The bus driver that's mean, and yeah, that was it. That was what was going on back then. But they paint that picture like we were all good, they were all bad, because it doesn't give you the real feel. So why am I saying that? You had something to say? Okay. So why am I applying that to this? It's saying all that to say, read it again. This is very important. A lot of people miss this.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 31 and verse 10.
Right.
Who can find a virtuous woman?
Right.
For her price is far above ruby.
Right. So this is how you know the Bible is keeping it 1,000. Because when was this book written out?
4,000 years ago.
Oh, okay. How long ago?
4,000.
4,000 years ago. And it's saying they couldn't find a virtuous woman back then. But go watch a Christian movie about the Bible. How are all the women in the Bible?
Angelic.
Perfect saints. You understand? They were just the nicest and hi, brother. And oh, I can't believe what they doing to Jesus today. No. The Black Panthers, they were drug dealers and pimps and killers. You see what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't the picture of you just seeing a nigga looking strong like that. They were backstabbing and doing all types of conniving things. In the Bible days, it was whores. The same way you talk about Cardi B and Sexy Red, they try to act like that just came out last year. They try to romanticize the 90s. You talk about, oh, hip hop, I can't wish we go back to the 90s. And you talk about with Uncle Luke. You talking about when the lady had the song talking about my neck, my back. She that didn't happen. I'm tripping. Sexy Red is what's wrong with the world. She's the first one to become a whore. And all of a sudden, this generation that's messed up. When our generation was talking about selling crack in my neck and my back and nigga they hoes and trick, like, what are y'all niggas talking about? The golden era, it was horrible. That was a horrible generation of people. And you know what your parents do? In the 70s, we used to listen to our parents. Y'all was snorting all the coke, nigga. Right. What are you niggas talking to me about? What do you tell? You smoke crack, nigga. What are you talking about, bruh? They tried to sit here and tell you some made-up story that back in the days we were better than y'all when y'all were doing the same things and worse because we learned this from y'all. And so when you paint the Bible as everyone, all the women were perfect, all the men were perfect, everybody was acting a certain way 1,000 years ago, it messes up your ability to understand that, nah, they were doing the same things back then. They couldn't find a woman to shut the hell up in the Bible days. It wasn't, oh, I'm a Proverbs 31 woman. That was rare. The same way it's rare now is the same way it was rare then. The average woman was doing the same thing, cheating on her husband, committing adultery, trying to dress like a whore, even though a whore was just showing her ankle back then. If she was still a whore in the Bible days, you know what I'm saying? They was still twerking and having these parties and getting drunk, and all of that was going on back then. It was hard to find a righteous woman in the Bible days. So don't you do yourself a disservice when you romanticize things in your mind. And if you missed this part of this verse that's saying that it was hard back then, it's hard right now. It makes you feel a little bit better too. Because you're like, yeah, okay, yeah, they smoked crack in the 80s and these niggas are popping pills now. This brother has hope. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing wrong with him. He's a victim of society. I should show mercy on him. I should deal with, I should work with him. It's not like, oh, all these women now, 2024, they don't listen to their husbands in the Bible, read the Bible, the women shut the hell up. Nah, nigga. It was the same thing they dealing with back then is what we're dealing with right now. And so you should feel a little bit better. She's not super out of order, and it's not because she's not born in the 70s and she ain't like grandma and them. You just didn't see grandma when she was 20. She started changing as she got older and she matured and she slowed down. She stopped wanting to go out so much because her knees hurt. And so you thought grandma was, but you didn't know in 1920 she was in the club twerking and doing this weird stuff too. Right. Your grandma was a hoe, not you. I'm just talking to brothers in class. You only brother in class, but just niggas don't know where your grandma was a hoe. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's for real. And your grandpa was you know what I mean? All that. He was getting high, and they weren't these perfect romantic sized people that we imagine in our mind. He used to beat her. I know. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about my people. Like, yeah, I didn't know my uncle Jimmy, he 80 years old when I'm a kid. Then I get older, like, yeah, Uncle Jimmy was a pimp. And Auntie Lee was a hoe. I'm like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't see it because you just made this image of back in the days. It was just all perfect and nice. Everybody walked around like it was the Brady Bunch or something. Nah, it was like this in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? So whatever we're dealing with now, it's not rare. It's the norm. So now we know, okay, let's just fix it because this is the same things that they were doing back then. We can fix it doing the same thing, learning from them right here. All right, read verse 11.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 31, and verse 11.
Right.
The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her.
Right.
So that he shall have no need of spoil.
Right. He doesn't need to go and do crime in order to get things because his wife is going to help and assist him. So a virtuous woman, this is what's talking about. A good woman is going to do these things. That was rare back then, it's rare now. But if you want to be above and beyond and better than what's average and normal and separate yourself from every other woman, this is how you will want to carry yourself. This is the type of woman you will want to find as well. Keep going. Verse 12.
Verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
She will do him good and not evil
Right.
all the days of her life.
Right.
13. She seeketh wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hands.
Right. She's trying to get the clothes, the foods, all these things, taking care of the household. And she's doing it willingly. Like she sees the bigger picture. She knows that this is what's important. She knows that it's hard work, though. It's easy to make an OnlyFans. It's easy to go into the strip club. It's easy to be a whore and make money. And it looks fun and glamorous. And they make that life seem like it's great. But in reality, it's a lot of pain and suffering and just abuse. And it's very sad. And it's hard to work and wake up and deal with kids every day and cook and clean and care about your husband. That's hard work, but it's a glorious and right thing. You know what I mean? And so too many times Esau loves glorifying what's wrong and, making us go that way. All right, keep going.
Verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
She is like the merchant ships.
Mm-hmm.
She bringeth her food from afar. 15.
Mm-hmm.
She riseth also while it is yet night,
Mm-hmm.
and giveth meat to her household,
Mm-hmm.
and a portion to her maiden.
Right. Keep going.
16.
All right.
She considereth a field, and buyeth it. With the fruit of her hands, she planteth a vineyard.
Right. She starting businesses. She's taking care of business, buying houses, doing all these things, adding value to the family. Like all these things are economic in so that's why we're saying, like, if a woman knows how to do business and you don't know how to do business and your wife is telling you this is a good business decision, you like, nah, you the woman, that doesn't make sense.
Right.
You know what I mean? She's grinding, she got some money, she about to go buy a house or some property and invest in it. There's nothing wrong with that. That's righteous. You know what I'm saying? That's a good, solid sister. And so it goes on to all the different things. We won't go through all this, but all these great elements of what come into a good wife. And the general said something that a lot of people will go over their heads. General Muhammad said, but basically, like, a woman's value is in the things that she brings in. It is in the work. They flipped it on us. Esau loved flipping on us. They tell you that the man's value is of his money and the things that he brings in. But in reality, the woman's value is supposed to be that.
Right.
The man's job is to protect. The man's job is to lead. The man's job is to teach. You see what I'm saying? And these things in the matters of the Lord, because we also have to go and protect not just our household, but our nation. That's a warrior. A warrior is worrying about his nation, not just my kids. I got to protect their kids and his kids and her kids and the nation's kids. I got to worry about feeding the nation. I got to worry about doing all of these bigger goals. And so you're taking care of these things at home. It doesn't mean I'm not a low value man because I'm over here taking care of the nation and working for our people, and you are grinding it out, holding down the household. That doesn't make me a weak man. You know what I'm saying? But they try to reverse it and say, you should not care about your nation of people. You should be the only one that works. She shouldn't have to do nothing. And then you just live like hip hop housewives and, honey, take my credit card. You know what I mean? Nah, that's not how it was supposed to go. That's not what the Bible says. Women were supposed to work, get that money, bring it back to her husband, bring it back to her family. And yeah, it's righteous. Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's when we have that reverse in Esau's world and black men don't make money and they say you a low value man. It should be way the other way around. Like that's what Jeremiah does say. He's like, man, I love them Judite women. Like Judite women are hustlers. Like they have the most college degrees. They have the most entrepreneurial businesses. Like we've used that to hate each other. they like, y'all niggas ain't shit. Y'all ain't doing no business. Y'all ain't getting no money. I'm making all this money. I went to school. I'm smarter. I'm better. That whole energy was supposed to be a whole nother vibe. Like, imagine how much better we would be. Like, yeah, you are that. You do go to school. I don't. You are a business person. I'm not. You are, yeah, do it and bring it back to me. And now I got 3 wives that are all hustlers, that are all getting money, that she gonna live in this big old house and be proud she's independent, made herself a self-made millionaire with no man. Because she thinks it's wrong because America told her the man's the only person supposed to do that. Right. Or she's supposed to meet a man that's doing the same exact thing as her.
Right.
Why not be with this brother that's not doing that and help him out? You still got a man, you help the black man, you put him in a better position. You got the black family, and yeah, now he can really go. If he knew what his real mission was based on the truth, and then he would go and help all the other brothers. He has his time free to go and help all the other lost children that don't have fathers, and he could be a father to them and raise them up and fix our community. And that's the people that do that in nature. This is the last thing. It's 9 o'clock. That's the lions. That's why Judahites are lions. They always say that the black man is lazy, he don't want to work, and the women is doing all the hustling, but that's how lions get down. There's one lion sitting there with the cubs, watching the kids and chilling out, sleeping all day, and he got 5 lionesses that go out and hunt and bring the food back to him. But his job is to protect them from the other lions that come over here and try to mess with them. And so if that is evil, it's because you listen to the white man. That's not how the Bible is saying. There's nothing wrong with that, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so yeah, that's all I got to say. Salakia. Yep. With that, if there's any other questions, comments,
Sir.
yeah. All right. With that, shalom, Yahweh Shem Shah B'Gatham to all the brothers, Yahweh Shem Alatam B'Shem Shah to all the sisters. All right.